Man, bad news. Röbbed Of Ugas gets disrespected. He is told and denied by the WBA he must actually fight Stanionis instead of Errol Spence. We're about to talk about that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Listen, I don't know how you found the video, but you made it. Somehow, some way you made it to this video. Help others find this content by throwing a like on the video. It's free, it's fast, it's simple, and it's painless, I can assure you. Help others find the content by smashing the like button. Now, information just came out. The WBA has officially ruled. In case you guys don't know what's going on, I'll hopefully be able to explain it in this video. So, Röbbed Of Ugas of Cuba, he just beat a legend, Manny Pacquiao. It's up to my promoter. He just beat Manny Pacquiao, pretty much sent him to retirement. He had made a special request to the WBA to allow for him to fight someone other than his mandatory Stanionis in his next fight, right? That information came back today. The WBA said, nah, that's not good enough. You're gonna fight your mandatory because we said so. Now, Röbbed Of Ugas, you guys see the clip on the video. He made this video and he was actually expressing his frustration, if you will. And he said it's disrespectful for the WBA to impose a tournament on him. He's the super champion. He just beat. How come basically saying, how come nobody else in boxing has to do this tournament? And why do I have to fight a mandatory so quick when I just beat a legend in Manny Pacquiao? What about the rest of the WBA champions throughout boxing? So he had this long rant. He was very passionate. He had a lot of conviction, and he was upset about that. Now we understand even more so why he's upset, because there were plans to make Ugas versus Errol Spence possibly in February 2022, and now that cannot happen. It can, but it can't, and let me explain. So the WBA denied his special request. So they said, nah, you got to fight Stanionis, who just signed with this Pro Bellum MTK shell company thing, right? And that means Ugas' next fight per the WBA needs to be Stanionis, who fought, I think his last fight was Luis Collazo. It kind of ended weird as Collazo, I think he got injured in that fight. I watched it, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. And they're imposing this fight on the boy Ugas, but it is real disrespectful, as he was saying, because at the end of the day, he just beat Manny Pacquiao. He should really be able to fight whoever he wants. He beat and retired a legend, and instead of fighting a mandatory who looked okay, you know, mid versus Thomas Delorme, that's a guy that they have in common, right? Thomas Delorme. But instead of forcing him to fight Stanionis, who had the weird Luis Collazo fight, kind of ended weird, as I just mentioned, and then fight against, before that was Thomas Delorme, why wouldn't you allow for Ugas to fight Errol Spence? I mean, it doesn't make sense. These sanctioning bodies have proven to be problematic in the world of boxing, because you have, in more recent history, you have the sanctioning bodies who keep doing more and more to confuse and befuddle fans and really ruin boxing. They're ruining boxing because they keep having a bunch of new rules, not enforcing rules. Like, for example, the WBC, which is a separate sanctioning body, they broke their own VADA rules with the clean boxing program to allow Oscar Valdez to compete even though he failed a test. I mean, just stuff like that. Raising the clenbuterol levels for the WBC. And then now you have Ugas with the WBA, and he pretty much is asking for an exemption, saying, hey, I don't want to compete in this tournament to fight Stanionis. We're trying to make the Errol Spence fight. And they're like, nah, you got to fight Stanionis. I mean, look at it from a boxing angle or a business angle. What is a bigger and better fight? Ugas versus Errol Spence, which is basically Sean Porter Crawford. It would be one belt away from undisputed. So getting us closer in that direction by Errol Spence and Ugas fighting, or Ugas fighting Stanionis because you said he has to, right? So just know that there's other underlying politics. I wouldn't be surprised if certain palms are being greased behind the scenes by whatever person and networks and people to make these moves happen, because from the outside looking in, none of these moves make sense. At the end of the day, boxing, first of all, didn't have all these belts in the past. So in addition to having the alphabet belts and the 4-belt era of boxing, you further confuse and abuse guys like Ugas who really don't deserve that. Because Ugas literally stepped up, I think it was 11 days when Errol Spence found out he had a torn retina, and he stepped up to the plate in a major way. He was on the undercard supposed to fight Maidana's brother, and he went from that level. Maidana's brother is less accomplished than Marcos Maidana, who fought Adrian Broner and fought Floyd Mayweather. So to go from that level of competition and competitor to a legend, 8-division General Santos, Manny Pacquiao, that's a hell of a statement, and that's a testament to his skills and his ability and his willingness. And he did that on late terms, late notice, and he prevailed. Not only did he fight Pacquiao, but he actually beat Pacquiao, right? Which is a marvelous thing. And yet and still, he's being forced to do some kind of tournament with Stanionis. It's not a bad fight, but you know it's a better fight? Errol Spence versus Ugas. And see, this is the other thing. The whole Pro Bellum MTK company or whatever, you got to look at it like this. What's an easier fight that's just ready to make? Errol Spence is with PBC, right? Man Down Promotions. Ugas is with Al Haymon and PBC. They both have belts. It's a unification. Very easy to understand. Versus Stanionis was kind of working with PBC, or at least on PBC shows, but now he went over to Pro Bellum, some brand new company. So why would the WBA choose to complicate things like that? And it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to further complicate boxing more than it already is. We already know that this whole brand new Richard Schaefer, Pro Bellum, whatever, is brand new. You know, we don't know what the working relationship, because Richard Schaefer, truth be told, he used to work with Golden Boy, he used to work with PBC, and now he's doing this Pro Bellum stuff. So I'm not really sure what their relationship status is at this point, because he doesn't seem to be. He went from, I seen Richard Schaefer at the Errol Spence Mikey Garcia fight. He was the promoter for that. So how did he go from that PBC situation to losing Money Pal IV, Tony Yoka, Carlos Balderas? You know, a lot of those guys went to Top Rank. And then now he has his new company, Pro Bellum. You know what I mean? So we know what the easy. Look at Pacquiao's face is beat up. He beat Pacquiao's face up, look. He had Pacquiao eating porridge. His wife was spoon feeding him porridge, which is why it was a good decision for him to retire. He's already done a lot in the sport, but to treat Ugas like this, who's really had the hard road, he really has. He's had the hard road where your Dennis Ugas has just been a game competitor, willing to step up. He had early losses in his career. Top Rank didn't really do anything with him after he had those losses. And he really focused on his craft and redefined his whole career, and got to the point where he rebuilt himself. You know what I mean? And then he climbed back up. I thought he beat Sean Porter close. I thought it was a close fight. I thought he should have scored a knockdown. They didn't give it to him, etc. So he beat Ray Robinson, who I thought beat Mean Machine, and I thought beat Josh Kelly, but they robbed him, things like that. And Ugas has not been given any passes. He's had the absolute boxing hard road from, again, being kind of forgotten about with Top Rank to having to rebuild and redefine and reface his whole character to beating Pacquiao. Was that him and Jamie Foxx? Oh, that's dope. You know, to him rebuilding, and I thought he beat Sean Porter. That was the first time he really should have been a champion. Didn't get that. Sean Porter got the Errol Spence fight. Listen. I just told you I thought Sean Porter lost to Ugas, and I thought Ugas got the knockdown, right? And then Sean Porter, he won on, according to the judges. His next fight was Errol Spence. So that could have been Ugas. And now, fast forward to the future, Ugas beat Pacquiao, who Errol Spence was supposed to fight, and they're trying to, behind the scenes, put together Ugas versus Spence. And then now something else stands in the way. These sanctioning bodies are tripping. Ugas has earned it the hard way, out the mud, the hard knock life way. And I think he should be given a pass, and he should be allowed to fight whoever makes the most sense. And I think the Errol Spence fight is a ready-made, easy fight that does make the most sense, and it's a unification. When do mandatory fake tournaments that they just came out with trump unification that's better for the sport and a good fight and easier to manage, since they're all with the same people? But this is what the sanctioning bodies in boxing do to further complicate things and make boxing fans' lives a living hell. So WBA is tripping. PBC need to just come out with their own belts. It's that simple. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm out.